40,000 years ago, we sat in caves and made art. And by we, I mean, of course, the royal we. Our ancestors made art to beg their primitive gods for what they desired. A good hunt, healthy offspring, a new stick! They were telling their story and deifying their desires. Art and religion conjoined at birth, with torsos so horrifyingly intertwined, the two would forever be one and eventually get a childishly named special on TLC. Every civilization has had their art religion. They all made big naked statues of their gods and ornate soul jars, or invented new colors because they could just never make Jesus' eyes beautiful enough. We all know that shit. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, art school behaves like a religion. Now, I ain't trashing art school, just noticing some similarities. Like, well, for starters, narrow-minded arrogance. Okay, hang on. You know, let me. I was strongly worded. Let me take that back. What I meant was a self-obsessed, self-glorifying assholes. That's not much. That's worse, actually. Whatever. Too many teachers have one accepted viewpoint for how to make art. There's one true way. Only paint this way. Only draw this way. Only follow my instruction. All other false prophets will lead to your damnation. This artist is a hack. That movement is played out. They stagnated. They were too fanatical. They were lying to people. They were dangerous. They made people think. We can't have that. The fucking monsters. Always dehumanize your opposition. Remember that. Ethical standards are a small price to pay for victory. Always claim to hold the moral high ground. Another similarity, well, there are sins in art. Oh, sure there are. Thou shalt not copy out of a photograph, right? We all know that one. It's basically just thou shalt not steal. But always leave a little wiggle room in your morality, I say, for a little good old-fashioned theft. Run out of time in class, gotta move your setup, take a picture, finish that shit off later. And they say, hey man, you copy out of a photograph, I'll be able to tell. Bullshit. I never got caught once. It's like swearing or taking the Lord's name in vain or jerking off. The preacher won't know. They never know. Do whatever the fuck you want. Next, thou shalt not use any unmixed paint right out of the tube. You get caught doing this, your teachers will act like you may as well be finger painting with the preschoolers, because that is not being creative, right? Cardinal fucking sin of art right there. Never don't be creative. I did the list, sure, why not? Thou shalt not worship false idols. Jesus fucking Christ, that's a big one. There is a long list of people considered to be the greats. Both old and new, the newer ones usually found in the latest issue of Juxtapose. And you better just think that they're the greatest goddamn people to walk the earth. Now, who's on the list is ever-changing, so be sure to keep up with that year's saintly figures, and denounce all those who follow the ones that fell out of favor as art world apostates, sellouts. Thou shalt not have the wrong politics. This could be a video all its own. If you study art, you'd better be liberal. Big L, tattooed on the face, horseshoe theory left-winger. Now personally, I'd rather live in a cave on Mars with no hands than vote conservative. But most art students and faculty take this vilification to the extreme. So if you have a dissenting political opinion, you just keep that shit to yourself. Or someday the wrong person might overhear you and your grades will suddenly, coincidentally, begin to suffer. You may as well just drop out and see if any of your credits transfer over to business school, because you have been excommunicated. Hey, we should, kill rich people, right? They're not even, people anymore. They're just they're monsters. They, just pretend to be humans. They abuse their children and beat their women. They're, fuck everyone who's not, exactly like us, right? Different opinions are scary. And let's not forget, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's profession. Art is the best, everything else is empty, meaningless bullshit. Now, most religions state that they are opposed to murder, and yet religion continues to be one of the chief reasons people are killed, so at least in that, art school differs. Art students kill each other over professional disputes, tops once a week. Not nearly as bad as it was back in the 60s. Now, there are dues to pray at the altar of art school. The tuition is getting ridiculous, art supplies are insanely expensive and often run out fast, not to mention all that useless bullshit like textbooks. So it's gonna cost you some money to be an artist. Like Scientology money. Don't a lot of religions tell us to be meek and abandon worldly possessions? Well shit, there's your starving artist right there. How could a real artist have a comfortable income anyway? If you're not poor, you're not legit. There are different kinds of each field of art. Drawing, painting, sculpture, they all have different movements in media, not unlike schisms in different religions. They all think that they're the right one and all others are heretics. Bitter rivalries between animators and illustrators, like you're living in Northern Ireland and the rest of the world is looking over like, what the fuck is their problem? Likewise, it's not like anyone else who isn't involved can tell the difference between fauvism and impressionism. Well, we differ in that we believe that... Yeah, you're a painter, I got it, whatever. But it's kind of like taking drugs, you know? Watercolor, oil, acrylics, encaustic, gouache, charcoal, Conte, pencil, ink, Photoshop, 3D, marble, wood, textiles, or stone. Each one gives you a different end result. A different buzz, if you will. Actually, with how much money you'll be forking over, you might be better off addicted to drugs. Actually, come to think of it, forget religion. Going to art school is a lot like taking drugs. You start having reverse sleeping habits, dressing like a hobo, you get into strange routines, go on and on about weird shit no one else cares about or can even begin to understand. It doesn't really impact the real world. You spend all your energy going to see people who fill your head with crazy shit, and in the end you die penniless and alone with your family members wondering just where the hell it all went wrong. Art school. Not even once. Art as a lifestyle will bleed you dry, eat all your time, and you'll end up running with a really weird crowd. Like religion. I guess what I'm trying to say is art school and being addicted to drugs and religion are all the same thing. Bad habits for weird people causing problems for all the practically minded folks who are just trying to get on with their damn lives. A little weed, some booze, hey, that's a good time. Till you're surrounded by businessmen shouting ass to ass so you can make enough money to buy a bottle of mouthwash. You think your sky daddy's watching over you? Well, you ain't really hurting anybody. Till you move your family to a compound in Utah to protest gay weddings with telepathy, and having professionals give you guidance for your burgeoning art career, well, that just sounds peachy, doesn't it? Until you're writing out a 30-page artist statement on your new gallery show on the history of classical portraiture consisting entirely of blindfolded mannequins drenched in blood with wads of cash stuffed in their mouths. Original idea? Do not steal. Yeah, I know earlier I said stealing's okay, but yeah, I never said art had to be consistent. So remember, if going to class feels like going to mass, your teacher might be more interested in narrowing your worldview than expanding it. And if it's teaching you to make shit that people said looks like a drug trip, you fucking sell that shit, man, because you're gonna make a mint. Well, that's the video, so tell me below, what's your favorite art world sin? Or just write something in all caps about how I'm a communist, Nazi, Jew, conspiracy, reptilian, fascist, Hitler for corrupting our children's youth or something. Because now that I've opened up the floor to drugs, politics, and God, I am sure the comment section will be full of rational discussions.